So now actions is where you can actually define the what needs to be done for the agent. So means any automation, anything, if you want to copy anything, if you want to check for any conditions or anything, you can actually do it here. Okay. So data upload. See here. So you have data type association. So data type association is basically association between the object to object. So if you have an mm, okay, sorry. So if data type association is something like which we don't have to customize anything. If you take the order list to order base, something if you want to copy anything. So based on this, actually you can have the actions displayed here by default options. If you want to notify contact when it has to be something, or if you have anything like to send any action, it is you can do it. If you want to update something between the order list and order base, you can do it. So generally, data type association, so we will not use, like most of the times we will not use data type association because we'll directly have the agent set up with the different conditions. So in the actions, if you can see, uh, you have many options here. Okay, and first thing is uh, before going to the actions, so Shiva, it's, I think Samreen might know what exactly the agent actions is. So actions is basically if you want to if you want to like in the agents, if you want to automate anything in the sense if you want to copy anything, if you want to do anything. So if you can see copy involved parties from the order, which means like if you have this action in this, so likewise you have many options generally. So associated object is order list to order base. You can select order list to shipment or anything. If you can directly select. If you don't select, it will not give you anything. Based on this, it will come. Okay. Okay. So and these are all the basic options you have. You have many options here. Another thing is so most of the times what we will use is you can use if condition. So I think we'll have some public agents. I can show you that as well how it looks like. And also we can create. So if condition we have, so if condition if you are using, you can use the anything complex expression or attribute rules. You can define the rules, you can define the expressions, you can have the threshold limits, and you can have the expressions like just expression is something like order release get equal to some dollar gets or something. If you are assigning any value, you can do it. But any most of the times like we'll use saved condition. So most of the times we'll have the saved condition defined, and based on that condition we'll have. So now we can see if condition. So if we can have the demo sc, and we are creating the saved query here. Based on that, like just I'm just selecting the random saved query. So demo underscore sq. So I will just select one from order release where order release git equal to dollar git. So when you see, I mean in the SQL query, even if you can write either question mark or dollar git. So in OTM, the best practice we'll follow is the dollar git, which is a standard. So if dollar git is something where it's an order release value with the domain name. Okay.
Okay.
Sure, are you following right, or you have any questions?
Yeah.
If you have any questions, if it's a small one, you can ask me.
Okay. Okay.
Because I mean I know it will be difficult for you to understand until unless
Yeah.
if you have done something. So generally you create order release, right? So order release ID will get populated, right? So in the back
Okay.
end, what will happen? You will have the GID and XID, both the columns. Okay,
Okay.
GID is full form is global identifier. Okay,
Okay.
and
Okay.
XID is without domain name. So generally, let me finish it and I'll show you like in the one of the order list. In the order release, if you open the order release tab, you have the order release ID and you will have the domain name as well. So if you go to the table, if order release git and order XID, order release git is something like domain.gid, which is a global identifier, and so XID is without the domain name. Okay,
Okay.
so that is the difference between GID and XID. Now I have the if condition, so automatically end if has been taken. So if the order release git equal to the thing, so we will write uh,
The execute update.
direct SQL update. Direct SQL update is basically a say update statement. It can be anything like DML statement. We'll call it as in general. So DML statements are like data manipulation statements. Either it can be update, insert, delete. So anything it can be. So you can uh, we can write any of the statements. So you can write anything like I'm just looking for what we can write. So order release git. So on the order release git, what we can write. I'll tell you what is meant by statement type and all those stuff also it is there. I'll tell you that as well. Update, just simple statement I can write. Order release.
We
So
can update
update.
in attributes.
Yeah. Tell me.
We can update in some of the attribute.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Each template is basically a Y now. I think it will be no, and we can update it to Y. Oh, Y. So, okay, and the statement type, whether it is in plain SQL statement or stored procedure. So if you are using any procedure, you can use the stored procedure. Even in the plain SQL statement, you can call the procedure. But if you want, like if it is literally a stored procedure, you can use the store procedure and and call the procedure from here. To call the procedure, I mean the uh, the symptom is call the procedure name, like whatever you have stored in the procedure in the database, you can call the procedure name. Okay, so if it
Okay.
is
So
like any,
just
if you have
it
any
is just
alias,
simple.
yeah, tell me.
Yes. So I mean we can call procedures through agents, right? I mean that way because
Yeah.
I have already
No,
worked on cloud.
in the cloud, there is no procedure concept
Yeah.
as of now.
Right.
So if you are using the cloud and procedure,
Hmm.
you will not have the database access. So you
Yeah.
can't save the procedures. So and you can't
Right.
call the procedures in the
So
simple.
while
But
doing it,
generally, just tell me.
I mean, on-premise instance, we have to write the statement like call procedure and procedure name. I
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Call. Yeah.
Hmm.
So call if you have it in the glog owner schema, so you can have
Okay.
it glog owner dot the procedure name, anything
Okay.
procedure name. So on what you are like, if it is a procedure name and on the like this thing, if you are calling it at the order release git, you can put the dollar git or anything. You can actually call it as.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a just simple statement. So because in the cloud, if you are not using I mean, in cloud we don't have the option for storing the procedures. So procedures is kind of an obsolete in the cloud. Kind of
Yeah.
procedure call is an kind of obsolete, I can say.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing is now the refresh cache thing. So refresh cache thing is basically you have the 5 options to do it. So none means it will not refresh anything. Okay, and the
Mhm.
DML returning is basically what will happen if you have here like to refresh the cache, we will use the select statement. Okay, so if not, if you are using select statement, basically what we will write, we will refresh the table. So if you have something, so what we will do, select, like it's a plain statement, we'll write select star from order release where order release git equal to $git. The plain statement will write. Okay, even if you don't write also, it's fine. It's not mandatory to write, but it's a best practice to write. Okay. Another thing is, if it is like DML returning, so DML returning is basically what will happen when you have specified the DML DML returning. It's basically a data manipulation. DML stands for still data manipulation language. If you are returning any record based on the DML uh, returning,
Hmm.
if you are returning any data based on the DML returning, and which will have, it's basically a, I mean, you know that JDBC Java Direct, this JDBC drivers will have, right? So basically
Yeah.
even we have the JDBC feature backend. Okay, so if you have defined this DML rating, when you are listing the
Hmm.
all the records using this SQL execution, returning this same execution. So what, instead of, if you are updating something here, right? So set is template equal to y, where, sorry, I did not wrote this here. So, so order release git equal to $git. Okay. So same thing, you can write it here. So same, yeah, I'll tell you, see, DML returning and statement parsing is kind of in same. Okay. And what will
Hmm.
happen, instead of writing like, see, in the same statement, if you are not able to do the refresh cache, so what will happen, you will have the select statement. So instead of sorry, it should be in here. So instead of that, you will have the select statement within the update statement. Okay. So understood, or it's a doubt, anything?
Okay, okay.
And the
So
backend,
we would
basically, see, JDBC feature is basically a backend feature of OTM. Okay. So what will happen when you have this selected DML returning, the JDBC feature will try to synchronize the data and refresh the cache. So
okay.
you don't need to do anything here, but actually, if you are not, generally we will not use the DML returning. If you are able to, if you have the select statement to refresh the cache, so basically cache refresh, what will happen, will refresh the table. Okay, because whenever you have the update, so if you refresh the cache, it means it will not have the, it will not hold the object for the object lock.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it, or confusion? I don't know if you can. I can try to explain in other
Yes.
way also.
About it.
Yeah. So DML returning and statement
So,
parsing
can
is,
you?
yeah, Samrin.
Yeah. Can you just provide me one example? I mean, just as a document where we use procedure in agent. I just want to go through that once.
Document, huh?
Yeah, a document as in
Yeah,
just one example of a agent in which you have called procedures, a procedure or something like that.
yeah. I'll check on
Yeah.
because as a procedure can be anything. If you are like, right, why we wrote procedure. Procedure is basically if you are doing
Right.
multiple things, instead of writing multiple SQL statements, we will do it in a single procedure.
Right. Yeah.
Or it's the same way, I'll do just anything, like if you are updating something, like the same way, instead of writing multiple if conditions in the agent,
Mm-hmm.
so if you have one procedure, or else if you are any customization, updating and retrieving the data to check the condition, so even we can have the
Mm-hmm.
call, the procedure call here. I mean, to select, to check for some condition and update the data also, we'll write some
Mm-hmm.
procedure, right? In that case, actually, you can, like, do the procedure call. So template is doing, like, save. So see, this is the basic thing. And if you have many conditions, see, there are many conditions, many actions, actually, you can say. So once you have the if condition, you can write n number of if conditions. Okay, and you can call
Mm-hmm.
the custom events. I told you, right, we can create the custom events.
Yes.
So I showed you, right? So instead of to call that raise event custom event, so you can create any custom event here, anything it can be, like you can write it here. So when where you wanted to create, so agent event ID I am get like shipment. So sorry, it's an order release, right? I'll just to show you. So order release, and you can have the sorry order release type as in here. Then you can, it is a custom event. If you have any contact notification, you can have. If you have any parent event for this agent event, you can write it. It's a domain name, and you can just create it. Okay, and then save it. So in that way, if you have this raise event called, okay, and I'm click on finishing. If you can have this agent, if you click on new, so in the agent event, we created order release, right?
Hmm.
So what did we created? I didn't remember. Let me find it here. I can get it. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, we have created order release, right? It will come here. So what will happen? So when I so what will happen if this agent, after the if condition, if that's satisfied, if we go to this action, so another list, this action will get, this new agent will get fired. Okay, so once you if you have the raise event, so you are doing the raise event to trigger the another agent in the OTM.
Hmm.
Got it? What is in the raise event?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is another action, and another action is, see, there are many actions to it. Okay, there are many actions here. So which even like I mean, many of them will not use. I'm just telling you what regularly will use. So many agents, if you want, I can send a few screenshots of agents of mine also. So in the document, so whatever we have in the real time, so that you guys we can understand, you guys will understand. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. I think Samrin you can see, but it's for Shiva. It will be confusing for
Yeah.
him to understand what is what
Yes.
actually. So that's why I'm concerned. Even for everyone, even for us in the starting days, it will be like this only. So that's why.
Yeah. Right. Right.
uh,
Yes. Yes. Sure, I understand.
Yeah. So I think what happened. So see, if you assign variable is basically what will happen. If you want to assign any variable, it should actually come. It's not coming. So actually, if you have the assign variable action, you will get the option of what do you call, like variable name on the select saved query. So saved condition, you can define the variable name. Right? Let it get up. I mean refresh also. Yeah, here. If you can see assign variable, so you can select anything like $or. A variable can be defined. So like prefix for the variable always should be the dollar. Okay, that is the standard OTM format. Mm. And other thing is we already created one saved query, right? So we can just, I'll just show you like what is it, and then you can do some practice. So what will happen? So that assign variable OR, right? So when you have this demo SQ, the order release, whatever you selected, that order release will get assigned to the this variable. So where will use this variable? So this variable you can use again, like you can have n number of direct SQL statements. It's not like only one you should have. So when you are updating something, when you are updating the any table like order release set, same thing I can put. I'll just showing you why it is what it is. To y, sorry, to y, where order release get equal to dollar $or. So you'll have the you will have the that assigned, if you have defined the dollar or whatever you are calling there, so which means, so whatever the value it gets from that assigned variable, for that value, this update statement will work. So you can use this in any select statement as well. Okay, it's not like only update statement. So understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So based on this assign variable, so once it got assigned the variable, and you have this SQL statement updated, and based on the select statement, you can have the another if condition here. Okay, and you can have the just I'm just using the same another same saved condition. Okay, so if demo is SC, and you can do whatever you want, like you can actually notify the contact. Okay, so notify the contact means you should have the contact in place, and the contact can be created. I think we have contacts. We can use any contact. Wait, we'll see. We have HYD contact. See, contact, you can create any contact, and after contact you'll have an email. You can send it as any time, like you can have the EDI service, you can have by contact, you can have anything. So generally what will happen, notification will send through the email, we'll have setup, and you can send FTP also, HTTP post. So these all are the different protocol services we have to send the information. But most of the times we'll use email, so that notification will go to their email. So which is there, once you have sent the notification, if you want to send it to any other win, and that is a notify contact, and you have the send integration. Yeah, send integration. So send integration is something like where uh, if you want to send any outbound information to the any other system, like from OTM, if you want to connect OTM, like if you want to send the automatic, so based on the few conditions, if you check, and if you have to send the information to the any external system, so you can use the send integration action here. So based on that you can define the external system here. I'll explain you what is meant by external system, how we can define external system here, what types we have. So we have HTTP, FTP, web service call. We have many other system, many other three types of calls we can do in the external system. So basically external system where you will have the details of the other system details. So based on that you can define the same external system, you can define it here and then save it, it will go. So and whenever the conditions will satisfy, then the outbound will go. Okay, so understood. What else we have? So I'm just see there are thousands of actions. Okay, it's not one or two. You can see for each and every object you have thousands of action. So as I told you, you have the copy option also here. So you can copy the reference or revolve involve parties or anything from order or anything, like you have many copy options. You can see here. So you can see here what copy reference to order release, copy reference from order release. You have options here. So based on that, you will get some other actions. You can check from there. So if you want to copy anything, you don't need to write any SQL statement or anything. So most of the actions you can see it here, like kind of a copy or send integration or all the stuff. Basically, if conditions, if you can have anything. So basically, when you write if conditions is to if you are checking any condition, so if it is there, then only copy. If it is there, then only update. If it is there, then only send. In that scenario, basically, we'll use the if conditions. So without if see, agents are basically there to check the condition and update something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? What else? Just let me think. What is the most recent use? I mean, regularly used actions. Yeah, mostly I can think of assign variable if conditions, send integrations, notify contacts, copy ref nums, which I told you. So what else? Mm,
Kishore, we don't have any like agent type on users, right?
meaning and get
No, we don't have any user. I
user.
mean, yeah,
I
on
mean, on
user.
the user role, you want to write an agent. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like till now, even I didn't write. Let's check.
yeah. Actually, I was
Think
being
we
asked in
can.
an interview.
Okay, you
So
don't
do
have it. I mean, generally, we will not have at the configuration administration level. So that
yeah.
part, like on the configuration and administration part, so you will
Hmm.
not have any agents basically to have.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, basically, configuration administration is basically that configuration basically how you wanted your system to be. Say most of the options in the configuration administration is basically how you wanted to have your screens and the login information and the security stuff and all will be there in the configuration administration. So on that actually you will not have any agent created on the VPD level or screen set. You can't write any agents on that. Okay, the agents and the automation can be done based only at the transactional data level. So if you can see, not at the configuration data level. So even you can write agent at the contact location and all those stuff. So because you can integrate those as well, and users and all to provide the access. So we will not integrate. It's a manual creation in the system. So I don't. We don't have. We will not have any agent types for configuration administration.
Right.
Okay. I think it's a good question in the interview to identify whether people really knows OTM or not.
Yeah. So his question was, he wanted to, I mean, the question was they wanted to get notified to some of users or the main business, I mean, the one who handles the business. So they wanted them to get
Mhm.
notified when a new user gets created. So that was the
So in
requirement.
that way, how what you can do is, so we can do it, but at the user level we cannot write agent. But what you
Yeah,
can
we
do
can.
is you can create a user contact,
Hmm.
and based on the contact, on the contact you can send the notification.
Yes, that is one option, and another option is like we can create, I mean, for a second workaround, we can create report through, we can send that, I mean, we can schedule the report for
Yeah, yeah.
2 DB,
Report you
and
can schedule,
we
but
can,
you have a direct option, right? Like, see, report, even if you want to
yeah,
schedule a
right.
report, the report can be done through agent. So it's the same. So instead of if they want a monthly
Hmm.
users list or something, then we can schedule a
Yeah,
report what is being created. But if it is something
yes,
whenever the user creates, if you want to send notification, then it is like create contact and send integration. So you can do that as well. Okay. So this is about the actions I can think of. Even I'm looking at my system, like if you have any other actions used. So we generally use if else, and what do you say, direct SQL update, send integration, raise events if you are raising any child events, and notify contact. So these are regularly used stuff in the agents. Even if you are, even if you can go in any system, anything you can use. Mm, okay. So if I can find any other reactions, I'll update you. I'll explain you later. So that's about the agent. So agents are clear. Like now, as of now, whatever we discussed, is it clear or any doubt? What is meant by agent? So how it works and all. So error handler is so I mean, upon your confirmation, we'll move to error handler. So clear, right?
I am
And
clear.
if you have any doubts, you go through it. If you have any doubts, you can ask me anytime. So whatever. Okay, so error handler is basically like if the agent if agent fails, so what you have to send, like you if agent fails, so error handler will have basically will have the notify contact defined here. So why? Because if the agent fails, so the notification should come receive in that mailbox, in our mailbox, like whatever we define here. What happened?
So, Kishore, suppose I have five statements in my actions, okay? Five actions are there, out of which my two actions
Mm-hmm.
got executed, and on third action, my agent got failed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it will.
on
You will get the notification of agent failed because of this reason.
fail, error handler. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yes.
the previous two, I mean, the actions which got executed will be stored in database, or it will be like how, I mean, the agent after suppose I have to.
See, agent, like only if the agent completes, then only the commit will happen to the agent.
Okay, so complete all, I mean, at the, okay, got it.
And if you have any this thing like the action, if you have the different if and else statements, so if it
Huh?
is continuous, and if you have single if and end if statements, if you have in between direct SQL update, so it
Huh?
will update and commit. But to have, if you have any like direct SQL statement without any if statements or anything, so that will commit
Mm-hmm.
only when you have the a full agent completed, because it's a plain checking, right? You are doing like it's a plain direct
Right,
SQL statement which you have without conditions.
right, right. So at that time, it
Yeah.
will commit only when complete agent execution will be done.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, okay.
So that's a error handler. Even you can have, you see, in between also you can notify, like you can get the notification. So within the actions only you can have the notifications if you want to. Generally in the testing, in the test instances, when you create the new
Mm-hmm.
agent, so each and every action you will have the notify contact action will be placed, because so that you will know that which action is failed, till which action agent has run, like that. So it's a for testing
Yeah,
purpose, generally we do that.
yes.
Yeah. So this is the agent part. So any doubt on the agent part or anything till now? So then fine. So now I'll tell you that external systems. So external systems. So external systems can be access to the communication management in the business process automation. You'll have the external systems here. So external system is basically, as I told you, so if you want to configure, if you want to connect any OTM, it's only for outbound, okay, not for the inbound. So if you want to configure anything, which will send from like OTM to any other system. So to connect that system, you have to define the details here. So what details you want. So basically, it's an external system. If you can configure anything, like if you want to send anything like OTM to EBS, you can have it here. So it depends, like you have different flow names also for the EDI. In the SOA, if you can call it, there are standard flow names like 2331, different integrations,
Okay.
different middlewares has different standard names actually for the messages. So if you can take the what do you say, web methods, it has different. Sterling, if you take, it's all the middleware systems. Okay, like SOA, we how we have for Oracle, we have Sterlings with IBM, we have web methods. Likewise, we have many other systems as well. Even SOA has some. I mean, SAP has some middleware. So middleware, I mean, if you are using Oracle and OTM, doesn't mean you have the SOA middleware. You can use any other middleware as well. Its middleware is basically what it happens is just translate the messages from one format to other format. So based on the mappings we have, it won't data cannot be manipulated in the middleware system. So whatever we have to understand, see, I mean, EBS will have the different terminology and OTM will have different terminology in the XML tags. So to actually have the translation to the understandable format of OTM or understandable format of EBS of any other EBS. So basically in the middleware, we'll do the setups, the mapping stuff actually. So that is where this comes into picture. Okay. So, and here you will have the username password defined and the confirm password when you want to define. So if you are sending the any HTTP or HTTPS systems, so if you have the URL in place, and if it is a secured system, if it is HTTPS, it's a secured system, which means you will have the username and password. If it is HTTP, you will, it's not a secured URL, and you will not have any username password. So it's generally, even if you have the in the, any of the URL, like you'll have the HTTP colon slash slash. So HTTPS is a secured page and HTTP is not a secured page. The same here also. Okay. And the trans
And what is max
acknowledgement
bytes per
expected. So if you want,
transaction?
sorry,
What is max bytes per transaction?
bytes is generally you'll have that, right? In we will KBs or like MBs will have, right?
Okay.
So you can define like how many bytes of the message you can have. Basically, how much it 1 KB or like 2 KB will have that XML. So you can actually define how much bytes you can send in a single transaction.
Okay.
So I mean, these all are like timeout. You can define how many. It's a seconds actually. So you can define 10 seconds or anything. So that you can define. But these all are like we will not. I mean, most we will not use anything. So max reattempts we can do, because if it is get error out or something, if it gets errored out, you don't need to do reattempt, because it will be, there will be some issue, data issue or any other issue. That's why the transaction got errored out. So no point of having the max reattempts also. In very rare case, if there is any system glitch or anything, then only the reattempts will work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's why I have skipped that. It's a just basic this thing. And this here, if you have this see HTTP, and if you have the trans acknowledgement expected means, so once you have sent the message, so the acknowledgement, there will be acknowledgement transaction in your transmission page.
Okay.
Okay, so that is HTTP trans acknowledgement. So these days, like none of them, like many of them are not using HTTP or FTP. This is a FTP is file transfer protocol, and you will have for FTP, if you want to send any FTP, if you have to do any, if you have to send any transaction through the FTP, you should have the host name of the particular server, like which you are sending, and the remote directory. They'll give the details. So all these details will be given by the the middleware system, because we will connect to the middleware. From middleware it will connect to the external system. Okay, so the middleware, basically whenever you are connecting, if it is a FTP, they'll provide the host name directory on what kind of connection mode it is, whether it is like, I mean, active mode or passive mode, and they'll give actually these details how you wanted to do it. Okay, and these days I'm telling you, like most of them we using the web service protocol. Even web service is the same, but what will happen, you will have the document defined here. So with the details, you can see if you have some AES filing document you have. Okay, this is the standard feature is there in the OTM. So I mean standard document profile. You can create the new one also. So that wisdom document profile will have these documents can be created from the power data. So this document will have all the same details like URL, the IP name, and all those stuff. So okay, so you can have many document validations here, and you will have the all the details. This is basically a GTM document. Okay, this web service. I think we have anything else here. So basically, if you can create new, I think it will. So basically, what will happen? You will define the. It's coming. You have to define the IP address and all those stuff. Let me. So you can define the web services from here. Web, it is here. You can create the here, and actually you can create new document. You have to create one. So I'll just take one standard one if you have anything. So else you can create one. Mm, If you want to create one, we'll create one also. What is that list? Content management database. So from where you are basically managing the content, and you have for commercial invoice, so you can select the document detail. So here you can see here, like you can define all these details. What is this? Basically, it will be a URL. This- So basically, we'll give the URL here. Just a minute, I'm just opening my
Yeah.
existing one. So see. See, basically you will have an URL. So what will happen is, like, you don't need to give any details also, another thing. So if you want to create anything, you can directly create one and you can put it, and it's just a type what you are, what if you want to plan. It can be customized one, or if you are sending any plan shipment, so you can have it as plan shipment as a document type, and you can select that as a visual document. Okay, you don't need to configure it. This is basically a GTM shipment, because we have selected the customer commercial invoice and the AES filing is the standard documents for the GTM. Okay, it's a global trade management, which anyways we're not going to look into it. So when you have it, so you can actually create it. Okay, so if you have anything, like if you want to have the document types created, so you can actually create it from the uh, power data. So the power data can be power data document generation you will have. So if you want to create any new document apart from these two, VAES filing and visual filing, so in the power data, so here document generation and the document types. So in the new, you can actually create it. So you don't need to create anything else. If you want to create for any planned shipment, anything, you can put it. No need to give any templates. If you want to give templates also, you can look for it and put it. Generally, we will not give anything. The printer information, if you want to give, you can put it. If you have any parameters, parameter name, and if you have any value generator, you can put it. So generally, we will not have anything. So we'll just create the document, and based on the document, if you go here, you can actually define the web services. Oh, we have created document type. Sorry, we have to create now visual document. Now, if you want, you can look for the any real time also. Something it will be the same. I can share you. I mean, actually, my URL are not work in this laptop, so otherwise I could have shown you. Now you have this
Okay.
the plan shipment. Basically, what will happen? No, in this, if you want to uh, define anything or finished anything in the content, if you want to select, then only you can. Basically it is because to just to know that you are pulling the data from the database, and when you go the service details, and you will, it is a major.
Could not retrieve content from document.
Did any document selected?
Fine.
Oh, you should have this actually.
Is
URL, I
having
forgot to
ID.
select the URL. So you can have
Yeah.
like, really what we will put is like, we will not put anything, we'll just put dummy, like 1 2 3 4 kind of. So
We can also put the same link, Win server. I mean the OTM link, right?
yeah, we can put. So generally this doesn't matter actually for the document. So basically web
Okay.
services details basically will configure the external system details, not the OTM details.
Hmm.
Okay, so because we
Okay.
are connecting the OTM, we are connecting
External.
EBS OTM with the EBS. Yeah.
Right.
Even what happened? Why?
Because that file does not exist. I mean that link does not exist. That is why it is giving
No,
an error.
we
Unknown
generally
host
even
exception.
no, even today we are using, even so we I have configured like almost 50 web services till now. So it is the
Oh.
same.
Oh.
So you don't
Okay.
actually, you don't need to have like the proper URL or
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
ID.
just oh, even this is not something like this thing. I can put it. At least let me put this if it works. I don't know, generally, you don't need to do anything actually. So I know. So because
Okay.
we,
Because it
I mean,
doesn't
recently
seem to be.
last week only I created one
Huh.
web services. We're not even long back also. In all our web services, whichever we configure, it is dummy only.
Okay.
Eh, yeah. So because it's a web service, right? Maybe this doesn't have the web server. This instance does not have the web server. So let me create one in
Okay.
my local system. Even if you want to create, you can create from your end as well. So here, I'll check it why this is error, and I'll actually tell you if I found something. Okay, or else again I'll
Okay.
ask them
Okay.
also. If I don't know, it's not something. So once you
Yeah.
have that, you will have the same details like URL, host name, and all those stuff, username, password. So you just have to configure. It's just a basic details how you have it here. You will have the details there. You can just configure those details and save it. Then it will work. So then it means you have connected to the web service system.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll actually get that error and I'll show you like how why it is getting error. I don't know. I'm not sure. So if I found something, I'll update you guys. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So in these three ways, actually HTTP, FTP, and web service protocol we can have, and we can have this. This queue name is basically what will happen. Generally, we'll have the queue concept in the OTM. So if you want to post this transmission, generated transmission into the queue of their server, actually the queue concept they have to create one queue. It's actually at the admin level. Okay, it's not a DBA level. So where they'll have that concept. So based on that, actually they'll provide you the queue name, so you can define the queue name here. Okay. And if you want to have any authentication of IP address or something, you can define it here. And XML profile ID. So XML profile ID is basically this is again another concept to send. So XML profile ID is basically what it means is, so generally OTM will have the standard XML templates for order release, shipment, or anything. Okay, to send outbound. So even you can see you can generate those XMLs here as well. But if you want to have any customized XML to be sent to any other system, so you can use the out XML profile. So out XML profile, you have like what will happen. I'll explain. What is that new page? Closed it. Yeah. So did you use anytime something like out XML profile?
Yes, I have
I mean,
created
any
once.
idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So you
it's
created with
basically just to
minimum or
limit
max?
the, I mean,
Minimum and maximum. Out XML profile ID, you can define it here. So if you have the minimum or maximum, so max is something like if you have indicated the max, what will happen? Whatever you defined, whatever you have specified in the exclude XML builder, so it will exclude those and then send the details. So max is basically a all data in the XML. So, okay. So basically, if you have the max, you don't actually for with if you wanted to send it as a max, I think you don't need to create out XML profile. You can send it whole
yeah.
XML at normally only. You don't need to define out XML profile. Okay, if it is a minimum, so minimum is basically what will happen. So if you indicate, if you select as a minimum, so whatever you have specified in the include X path, so it will consider only those will be sent to the uh, external system, any other systems, whatever we are sending. Understood? Or
Yes.
even this one, the child XML profile area, what will happen? You can establish the child parent-child relationship between the XML tags actually. So in the XML profiles, sorry. So if you have any XML profile already created one, and you can have, so basically it's kind of an parent-child relationship. So if you have anything, you can define it here as well. Okay. So it's a kind of a same, and so integration preference ID, even I have never used it. Like so, it might be for the XML generated based on the integration preferences or settings. So I'm actually not sure about it. I mean, I never used it.
Actually, I have
Okay.
read once
So
that integration preference is something that we create. I mean, for changing the UOMs, that I mean, unit of measures, if we want to change it, in that case, suppose,
yeah, that's what it's based on the integration preference. So suppose
yeah,
if you have any other system which
mm,
cannot read the one of the UOM, so
yeah,
basically, so the with that kind of terms, that's what it's based on the integration preference. That's why they have wrote integration preference. If anything which
yes,
other system may not be understanding our language, and which the SOA cannot be translated, any middleware cannot be translated, kind of maybe you can set it here and then do it. kind of. So I think we generally in OTM will have the standard UOMs. So we don't have any customized UOMs. I mean, generally we'll use LB, KG, the standard UOMs. So I think we don't need to use the integration preference. If at all, if any specific country or something, if they have different UOM, then only it can. This is out XML profile. See now, so we'll see the integration part now. So to make you understand. So integration is something everything is inbuilt in like integration manager and transmission manager. So first we'll see integration manager. If you want to upload any XML or CSV or anything, you will upload it from upload XML CSV option. Okay. And other thing is if you want to generate any XML, I mean generate an XML template, you can do it here. So how you will upload? You can directly select browse XML file or CSV file, and you can upload it. And XML template, how you will generate. So basically, you will have the release. Basically, we have order release in place, right? So order release in the system. So that's why I'm just selecting that order release. Do you remember any order release which you created, or you want me to search? Domain name. So we have to give domain name total GID here. Okay, it's not the this thing. So
Mhm.
what is that? Direct underscore OR. So direct underscore OR. So basically, if you want to select like without data, if you want any XML template, generic template, you can you don't need to include here. If you want with the data, and you can submit it, it will generate the XML with the data. If you want any null data also to be included, if that doesn't have anything, you can do it here. So we don't want that null data to be placed in the XML, so you can do it here. Else if you want, I mean it will get downloaded, that XML will get downloaded. So it the XML gets downloaded, it is actually taking time to download. So if you do that, XML will get downloaded. And other thing is like, so sorry, I forget this. It's basically based on the XML element. You can select release. If you want to select anything, you can select the release. Okay. So the XML gets generated. XML got generated where it gets saved. So this is XML file. See, this is XML file. It got generated. You can see transmission header, the domain names, whatever we created, all data will be available here. So what is this? This direct or 01. So the order movement ID, all those stuff will get generated, like whatever is a general basic XML template for the order release. So it will generate all the details here. Okay. And once you have this, oh, mm, so let me format this XML and show you like this. Okay. So this is the XML. So basically which we created, so we can do it as order release XML direct var1. Okay, so we can save it. I wanted to create one actually to upload and show you what it is. Okay, let me save it. Close this here. This is XML which we saved now. So I'm just uploading it. So for which you will get the transmission number generated. See, the reference transmission number is 905. So now how you see whether it is processed or not. So in the same you can go here, integration and the transmission manager. So it is processed. So it means the new order release is created. Okay. So if you want to see whether that order release is created or not, hey, oof. But before that, I just wanted to see what is the transmission. Okay. So this even the transmission got uh, created, like transmission got processed. You cannot see. So you cannot see the order in the system because the transaction code is NP, which is not processed. So the transaction codes, I'll explain you when we are uploading the other CSVs or something. So basically, transaction code will have IU, uh, and like insert, update, delete will have. So and not processed. Not processed means the transaction, whatever the data you have, whether it is whether you have the valid data or not valid data, it will not look for anything, but it will get simply process the transmission. So before I just want to replace it and upload it again. So I forget to replace this. Oh, there are 12 transmissions which got updated. So creating it, doing it, copy it. save as desktop. So basically, it should be XML formal text templates and all. It will Excel and all. It will not work. So either CSV or XML. So one dot XML. We have created. So transmission result we uploaded. We'll upload it here again. So 906 got created. So you can see it here. It says it is processed or not. So it is fresh. So it is not processed. It is taking time to process. So it is still fresh. So initially when you receive the transmission in the system, it will be fresh and then it will get processed. So it depends on the data. So since it's a like local server, so it is taking time to process all the data. So if it is a normal server, so it will in seconds only it get processed as and when we receive it. So it got created. So it means transmission got processed. So this is the one which we replaced it, right? Instead of direct war, we have the direct war one which we have replaced. So it gets processed. So release it, though it is in fresh. So order it's got processed. It is taking time to update the status to the processed. Okay. So you can see the order in the system which we uploaded just now. Okay. That's about this is where you can check the transmission. So basically we'll have transaction and transmissions. Transmission will have the multiple transaction numbers and transmission will not have the object details, but whereas the transaction will have the object details. If you want to check any transmission with the object, so you have to do with the transactions, and you can have the object ID here, whatever you created you can get it here. OTM training, sorry, direct OR1, I think so. So if you want select anything with the object ID, you have to select it from here. So two transmissions which we have created now, it got processed. If you want, if you have transmission number, you can directly send it from there, check it from here. And also if you sent anything outside the system, if you want to do anything, you can have the external system here. You can, based on the external system, you can search for the transmissions. Okay, and based on the statuses also you can check. So there are like different options here to check. If you have like if you keep on practicing, you will understood what is it and how when we search with transmission ID, when you search with object ID, the transaction number and all those stuff. Okay. So basically perform an integration command is something like you can select the release ID and you can select the object ID. So even we haven't used any time in the real time. So real time we have not used any time, but so I know how it works. So based on the object ID, you have to select the object ID. Either it can be order release or since we have selected order release, it will be order. It can be order release or anything. And if you have any specified XML defined within the system, you can define it here and then process. So it will work. So just it is just a basic. I mean, I'm not exactly not sure how it works, what it does, but generally you need to have this stuff and click on process. Basically, what will happen? That release that object will get processed here with this XML. With this XML, it gets processed. So basically, with this data, whatever you have with these commands, it will get processed within the system. That's how I know, but I haven't used any time. And the XML template, I just showed you how it the XML. So here only upload XML, CSV, and generate an XML template will use, and the transmission manager. These two will use, and data queues are anything we are creating that can be created with the DBS. So we will not do anything at the queue level. So that's how you can. If you want to generate an XML, you can generate it from the generate an XML template. If you want to generate any CSV, so CSV is comma separated value format. So you can export it from here. Okay. So you can extract it from here. So if you can see here, so we'll export one CSV. Uh, yeah. So we have the contact details, right? So we can check. It's basically the CSV generation will work. How to say? It's a based on the SQL tables. So in the table name you can select. So where class is, instead of writing direct SQL statement, you can have it here. So basically where class, if you can have the contact git. So basically I'll share you the table details as well. I have some document for the table details. I'll share that as well. So that you can look for it, and also I'll share. And we'll one day I'll explain you about the servlets as well. So we'll have DL contact, something we have. Just try to run it as. Yeah, we have these details. So now how you copy the data? This is not XML, Excel format or CSV format or anything. So how you have to do is you just have to do copy paste here, and actually you can do it from CSV. Notepad plus plus will be the easy, but since we don't have it, we are using it in Notepad. So I'll show you. This we'll remove this and we'll have it, and we'll have. Oh, let me try it. I did not try any time with the Notepad, but let me try. If it works, then also. If not, I'll show you from the this thing. Okay, let it have this. So generally, we will remove the what to say, insert date and all. So let me see if I can save it with CSV. I can actually remove it by opening that. Okay, it got created CSV file. So let me open it. So we have it here, all the details. So you can have all the details here. So instead of that, I'm just deleting this because see the date and update date will be taken by the system. So we'll not have a very in insert user. It will be taken by the system. These are all the table columns. So I'm just saving it. And if you want, like we'll create a new contact here. So instead of one updating, so we'll have it here. Save. So go here. How we update, like will even CSV can be uploaded from the integration manager. CSV. So we created one test CSV. So we are updating. upload. See, for XML, the transmission got generated, but for CSV, no transmission number will get generated. So it is just say how many records has been processed. This is the commands I'm talking about. These are all the transmission transaction commands. So which you will have, whether you how you wanted to do, whether it is insert or like update or insert update or kind of. So I is basically a insert. I is insert or ignore. U is update. So U is like I mean if I don't exactly definition I don't know, but function is like uh let me check. I'm not sure. So D is delete. D and another D is like yeah, see II is insert and ignore. U is update data. Okay. So U is update and UU is like when you have no data, so it will update it seems. Maybe I'm not used anytime. And IU is insert and update. So when you are updating the insert, I mean if you are uploading any CSV and if you use IU, what will happen? So if the record is not there, it will insert. If the record is there, it will update. Kind of UI. So we don't have that here, but it says it's same as IU and D is delete. And DD is if there is no data also, then it will the delete function will work. It seems. I'm not sure. So NP is like no persist. As I told you, it's not processed kind of. So I mean, when even if you have that data, so that not processed with the transaction code. If you upload any XML or CSV, what will happen? That file will get processed, but data will not get inserted into the system. Okay, so just now it happened, right? One of the XML we have uploaded with NP. So I know that the data order release would have not created. Then later again I updated with the I uploaded with the IU. Okay, and another one is replace child. So replace child is basically it's kind of a child and parent level data. So basically what will happen, so if you have recently we have one of the issue, like I'll just explain you in the real time scenario. So we have the we have the XML we have received as an RC, we have the data in the system. Okay, but what will happen, we supposed to receive the update like with all the columns. So whatever you have, suppose if you have the contact information in the system and you have email address, phone number, everything has been set up, but for that contact what will happen, you have received the another update with the RC mode without having all those details. Okay, what will happen, it will delete all the details and will have only that contact ID. Okay, if it sends only the contact, whatever information is there in that XML, only that will remain, and rest of the details, whatever additional details you have in the system, it gets deleted. So understood. So basically, in the regular, I mean, the day-to-day use, what we will use, I insert, IU mode, insert update, or like the delete if you want to delete anything, and sometimes we'll have the integration messages with the RC mode, replace child. These four are the mandate, like important ones, and regularly day-to-day use which we'll use. So clear about this, and now I am uploading this since we are creating the new one. I am uploading this CSV. Yeah, this is processed. No, now means the contact got created. You can check that contact in the system. Yeah, this contact one which we uploaded got created. So that's how the CSV is. This one works. Oh, what else is there? So migration project I'll tell later. Like in the last, I'll cover the migration project. What is there?
Audit
business
trail.
process. Audit trail also I'll cover it later because audit trail can be configured. It can be configured at server level also after creating here. So I'll explain that in the theoretical later. So a audit trail should
Okay.
be enabled even though if you created audit control here. So that audit trail should be enabled at DPA like in the server level as well. So it's just like
Okay.
whether you got this is like for the domain name, whatever you created. If you have the OTM training as a domain, and if you have subdomain as like A1, so that audit trail should be enabled in the backend. So that's what you are doing it here. Audit is on or not. So that should be enabled at the server level as well. So they'll have some commands to do it. So audit trail, most of the times we will not enable the audit trail because it causes the performance issues. So in the cloud, anyways, it is just on the DBA level you have to do, but in the on-premise you have to do it at the backend level also and at the DBA level, like DBA login level. Okay. So audit trail is nothing. So
Okay.
like if you have an audit trail enabled, you can track the what all happen on that particular object, like on the domain or an object. So what all happen on that, you can check it. So I think in my starting days, I have seen the audit trail is enabled, and like till now, we don't have the audit trail enabled. Even logs these days, even we are disabling the logs also. So only like DBS can provide logs because of these so many like outage issues or something. So we will not enable logs even. So we'll not even like read the logs. Even if you are reading the logs, it will be for 1 day or 2 day, and after post that, then logs will get obsolete. So because of the performance issues, see the OTM. So I mean Oracle always suggests not to enable the logs in the system. You can read the logs, but we will these days like many of them are not reading logs for more than like more like now I can see 7 days is the max. So before we used to have for a month also. It depends on the project to project, but I'm just telling these days this has been reduced reading logs and all those stuff. I think reporting is there. So reporting I can cover it. We are not creating any report because even with the cloud there is some concept. So we'll see reporting tomorrow. So and from then we'll see the other parts like financials and all those stuff.